I know this isn't exactly a new movie. This came out quite a while ago, but there have been a lot of people who wanted me to see it and wanted to know what I thought about it. And this is the only Pixar film, like the big Pixar films, that I had not seen. I've seen all the others except this one. And so I suppose that's why the curiosity is springing as to how I felt about it, particularly because of what I said about The Incredibles, which I didn't love.
No, I hated it also.
I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was very good. And so far, that had been like the furthest down on the list of Pixar films that I like. After seeing this one, and I've given it a couple of days to just kind of chew on how I feel about it, but I actually think that this is going to bump The Incredibles up a notch, because this is like, I think this is probably my least favorite Pixar film so far. I just didn't think that this was very good. I understand what they're trying to do in this movie, kind of, but they're trying to do so many things that it felt to me like they're not really tying them in very well. Like, they're dealing with, old age versus youth, which is why you got the old guy and the kid together. They're dealing with, letting go of the past, and I suppose the big floating house was meant to be kind of a metaphor about how this guy is basically, dragging his whole life around with him.
Well, he's dragging the memory of his wife.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And then you've got the stories having to do with adventure, having old adventures and new adventures and so on. But everything in this movie just seemed so disconnected. Like all the things they were trying to do and the points they were trying to make and the stories they were trying to tell didn't really seem to fit in very well together. Like at first I was like, all right, you're saying something about, old age versus youth, and then you've got dogs flying airplanes later, and I'm like, what does this have to do with anything that you were doing earlier? And like, it just kind of seems sort of jumbled to me, and I didn't enjoy it very much.
Yeah, I don't dislike it as much as I dislike The Incredibles. I remember watching The Incredibles and like practically falling asleep because I was so bored. But I didn't like this. I liked parts of it. Some parts were funny.
Yeah.
But overall, I like, one of my big problems was the main character is like a senior citizen, and this is a kid's movie, and I don't think kids can like relate to I know they put the kid in there. I just thought like most kids watching this are going to be like, what do I care about this old guy for? Like,
yeah, it wouldn't have been such a big problem if he wasn't so prominent in the story. But I mean, I think the majority of people who are going to go see this are young kids, and they're not really going to understand. Like, there was a thing in the beginning where they were basically telling a story just through pictures, through images of what was happening to these people, and then it runs into this part where she supposedly couldn't have kids. But I was wondering if any kids in the audience were even going to understand what was going on.
They would.
Yeah,
I don't think the kids. And I one of my things also was I watched it at the very beginning, and there's Ellie and I can't even remember the old guy's name, but I remember thinking like, oh, I like these characters. And, like, especially Ellie as a kid, I really liked her, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. I like this kid. And then she's in it for like a minute,
and then she dies.
She dies, and in the beginning, about the first, like, what was it, 10 minutes of the movie or something, I practically wanted to go in the other room and kill myself, because it was so sad. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is what's happening? Like, she dies, she never gets to do what she wants to do, and now he's all alone, and his house is in the middle of construction, and now they're gonna take his house away? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, if I was a kid, I would have been crying in the corner going, what the heck is this movie about?
Yeah, like, that's kind of... That was one of the main problems that I kind of had about The Incredibles, is that you can tell a story that isn't talking down to kids, but still make it so that it's not cynical. And I thought that a lot of The Incredibles was just cynical. I don't know that this was cynical, but it really was just kind of a downer.
It was very depressing.
I was wondering how they were going to pick that up, because I think, if you remember, I kept on saying, just give it time, it's not going to be depressing the whole time. And, they did put a little bit of action in here, but yeah, it never really rises above that depressing level for me, unless they're just trying to be funny. But when they're trying to be funny, it's just kind of random. Like, I thought the dog was kind of cute, but...
Yeah, that's literally, I wrote some notes for things to remember, and I wrote likes, and the only thing I could write was Doug. Doug the dog. And I didn't really, he wasn't great, but he was the only thing that was funny, and I couldn't think of anything else to put. I was like, well, I guess that's it. I guess the dog was kind of funny. You remind me of, what was that, Dexter's Laboratory?
Oh, yeah, where they had the talking dog, and all he could say was like, cool. Hi, I'm a dog. I'm barking.
So
Yeah.
it reminded me kind of that. So that was kind of cool because they were
Yeah.
like, squirrel.
Squirrel.
And that was kind of funny, but
Yeah.
it was not enough to obviously carry a whole movie.
No, and not much is carrying this movie, really. I mean, I just kept on wondering if there was ever going to be a coherent plot to this. And one of the things that I like about Pixar's, even with The Incredibles, is they usually manage to stay off point. And, like, more than half this movie I thought was just off the point. Usually when I'm judging movies that are intended for kids, and I know that this is like, it's a family movie. It's supposed to have things in it that the whole family can enjoy. But, you know, predominantly, first and foremost, these movies are intended for kids. And the thing that I constantly ask myself when I watch a movie like this is, you know, I haven't been a kid for longer than I would like to admit, but would I have enjoyed myself going to see this as a kid? I don't think I would have enjoyed seeing The Incredibles when I was a kid. I think I probably would have just been bored and felt a little out of place in the theater. Like, it wouldn't really speak to me about much. I don't think I would have enjoyed watching this as a kid. I think I would have been bored.
I don't think I would have even got a lot of what was going on. Like I said, it's mostly about this old guy.
Yeah.
And as a kid, you cannot relate to that. And just throwing a random kid into the movie, you know, Russell, that's just not going to be enough. I mean, yeah, you're going to see Russell and whatever, but it's just usually as a kid, in a kid's movie, you need a character to relate to.
Yeah.
And the main you're just not going to understand what these old people are going through and whatever, and it just
yeah,
not
you
that
don't
I'm
think
insensitive, but
no,
it's
no,
made
no
for kids.
But I mean, like, yeah, this is about, you know, what happens at the end of your life, but kids aren't thinking about what happens at the end of their life because it's just starting. No, and nor should they do, I think. Another thing that I wanted to say about the Russell character, was that the kid?
Yeah.
They made a couple of references to the fact that, I guess from what I could understand, his parents were divorced and his dad was with another woman and his mom was with another guy or something like that.
I remember that.
I think if I'm not mistaken, that might have been something they mentioned in the movie. I was wondering to myself if they were actually trying to talk down to, you know, a split-up family, as if that's, like, the worst thing in the universe. Like, it's horrible for them. I understand that a divorce is hard, but, like, to say that, like, this is something that the kid has to, you know, overcome, if you're going to do that, try to put that in the movie a little more, because, like I said, I think they only mentioned it once, and then they kind of skirted the issue, and they never talked about it again. So there were some of those elements in the movie, I don't even know what they were doing in there. It kind of seems like this whole movie seemed to me like kind of a Pixar pitch meeting, where they were kind of throwing ideas out there to see what they could make a movie out of, and they took, like, every single one and just tried to make the movie out of that.
Yeah, I'm hard pressed to find anything else I like about the movie. Maybe Kevin was kind of cute, the big giant bird, except in real life he would have eaten me. But I can't think of anything. I think honestly maybe my favorite part was near the end, where he found that Doug was under the porch, and Doug was like, I was hiding under the porch because I love you.
Because I love you.
And that was cute. But
yeah.
there was little cute moments like that, but it's just not enough.
Yeah. There is nothing in this movie for me to really care about, and I have actually, for all that I've said that I don't particularly care for The Incredibles, I've seen it about 3 times. I don't see myself ever watching this again, because there's nothing in the movie gave me a reason to watch it again.
Yeah, and another thing I was thinking about that I didn't like about the movie is, I mean, like I said, I guess you said it's a family movie, but a lot of kids are supposed to watch this, and the characters are almost constantly in peril. I mean, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Where they're, like, hanging off of things, and I think if I was a kid watching this, it would just be too much.
I get stressed out.
You just want to watch a movie and have fun. You don't want to be like, oh my god, is this person going to die? Okay, they didn't. Oh my god, they're going to die again.
I mean, like, every once in a while, if that happens, like, there was a fight on the rooftop of Beauty and the Beast that I liked as a kid, but it's every other scene,
falling off of the house all the time, and all this stuff, and I'm just...
Yeah, that was another problem I had with The Incredibles, is that, you know, when you're putting these people constantly in peril, you know, give them something to feel good about. Like, you know, mix it up a little bit. You can't just go on that one tone of, you know, just feeling bad and depressed for these people. You have to do something to, you know, let the kids have fun.
Yeah, and then, like, another joke that they did that I didn't like was the alpha dog, and then he had the stupid voice. That was, I guess, supposed to be funny that his thing messed up and he had a stupid voice.
I chuckled at that once.
I chuckled at it later when he was trying to, like, when the guy fixed it and then it broke again later. It was a little bit funny.
Yeah.
But they made that joke go on for a long time. It just wasn't funny. It was like, give it up. Like, the thing broke. Whatever.
It was just a mess as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, of all the Pixar's, this is my least favorite. I can't imagine ever watching this again.
Yeah, I still think Incredibles was my least favorite because I don't even think I watched it all the way through that first time. I think I tuned out for a while, but this is definitely
it's down there.
I guess second
yeah.
to the worst.
Yeah. Well, you can't win them all, I suppose. That's all for us.